All right, on today's show, we're going to explore some crazy TikTok updates, including hour-long videos. Are they coming to TikTok? Also, a long-awaited feature that Facebook and Instagram have had for a really long time that we're finally getting on TikTok that can dramatically increase your reach, and TikTok's separate Photos app. They are continuing to expand this, so we'll give you the latest all about that. Everything you need to know as a marketer. My name is Jerry Potter. Yes, it rhymes with the boy wizard, host of the Social Media Marketing Talk Show, a Social Media Examiner production where we break down the latest social media news and what it means for marketers like you. And today I am joined by Austin Armstrong. Austin is a lifelong digital marketer and short form video expert, CEO of Socialty Pro and CEO of Syllabi. And his podcast is called Business Talk, TOK, as in TikTok. Welcome to the show, Austin.
Jerry, always good to see you. Happy to be back, man.
I'm excited. Did I say the name of your company right? Syllabi?
You did. You're one of the few.
Well, it took me a while, but we've known each other a while, and I know you'd say it, and I'd say it wrong again, and so, all right.
The thing that gets me there is it's a real word. People just don't know the word.
It's not a common one, yeah. All right, so let's talk with this hour-long videos on TikTok. So they're piloting something right now that would allow you to upload videos up to 60 minutes in length, and it's a limited test. But, I mean, this is where we're looking at what? Watch out, YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, TikTok's essentially coming for everybody, right? I just checked my phone before this. I still have maximum 10-minute upload time on my TikTok. We were kind of, I mean, who's going to sit there on their phone and watch an hour-long video? I mean, it's going to be an interesting experiment to see, the watch time on those videos. I'm certainly going to test it whenever any of these platforms tests a new length and they push for it. They've been monetizing and pushing for longer, like 1 minute plus videos for over a year now. They rolled out their payment program for that, which pays really well. So they're trying to drive more watch time, more time on platform, ultimately, so they can serve more ads, right? But I think this is a fascinating play. I think they want, they were a couple of years ago now, they were the #1 website in the world. Now they've slipped down quite a lot. I think they're aiming for that spot again, right? I think this play makes much more sense on a desktop version than it does within the phone itself. But we'll see. I think it's an interesting test.
Yeah, well, and you say who would watch on their phone, but I've watched full movies on my phone.
I guess that's true.
I definitely would. Yeah. I could see it from a marketer standpoint. I can't imagine swiping through the TikTok feed and going, oh, this is interesting, and then like putting an hour into it, because I don't open TikTok when I have an hour. Now that could change, obviously, but it would be really cool to be able to have it as like a pinned video or something if you had a webinar or something, a product more in depth, different things like that. So
that would be great. Yeah. Or courses, online courses would be great. They basically have functionality for that already. So like longer video courses would be a cool use case.
Yeah. All right. So AI has obviously infiltrated everything, and now it's coming to emojis, apparently. So it's an AI emoji. Tell us what's going on with this update.
Yeah, this is like a cute little silly update. This is also a feature I don't have yet, but basically you can go into messages and take a photo of yourself, and it basically uses AI to animate you, and it puts you in different positions and stuff. And if this sounds familiar, it's almost exactly like what Facebook has had for years at this point, or Bitmoji, for instance. It takes a photo of yourself, and you can send little finger hearts or emoji, or like finger guns and all kinds of stuff like that. Just it's just an interesting way to communicate. Just a fun, cute little idea.
Yeah. Well, we've got some other AI updates for TikTok for sure. We're going to talk about here in just a second. But this was big news for people who had their videos muted a couple of months back. Apparently, the record label with Drake and Taylor Swift and Universal Music has now come to an agreement to we're okay to use their songs again on TikTok.
Yeah, this is a big one. This is one of the biggest recent milestones on the platform. I mean, music is an essential part of TikTok. It is the culture of TikTok. It is the underlying backbone of everything on TikTok. Trends come out of these popular songs. New artists explode on TikTok. Musicians are dropping songs on TikTok first because it gets more plays than even on Spotify. When or the radio, like, rest in peace radio. This is the new way for music discoverability. And like you're saying, like, these are artists like Taylor Swift, Drake, Billie Eilish, just massive, massive names. And I've seen this happen back and forth with different music labels over the last 4 or 5 years, and it can hit a lot of creators hard. So if you jump on a popular trend that's going around, or you use a lot of music in your backgrounds, I've had this happen to me where, like, when I find a thing that works for me, I'm going to use that same sound or background music over and over and over again to continue testing it.
Yeah.
Well, when something like this happens, every single one of those videos becomes muted.
Yeah.
And it's not just the background music, it's my voice as well. They mute the entire video. And so that video essentially becomes irrelevant until they get the agreement back in place.
Yeah,
So
which took a while this time.
yeah, it really did. I mean, there's a lot of money involved here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is rolled out, I believe. If it's not fully hit your account yet, it will. Keep an eye out for it. But if you had muted videos, good news. They're probably going to be restored, and hopefully that re-triggers some of those videos to grow more
automatically
frequently again.
So do you think we should avoid using commercial music, or do you think it's still the benefits outweigh the risk?
I think the benefits outweigh the risk. Now, my opinion is different if you're just focused on TikTok versus a repurposing strategy. Yeah. So if you're using, it's never a good idea. Like, if you're a TikTok first creator and you add a Taylor Swift song in the background, don't download that video and put it up on YouTube. You're going to get slapped with a copyright ban.
Yeah.
They are, all of these platforms are smart enough to recognize that music. That's why, they have these deals in the first place. If you're just focused on TikTok, I still think it's a massive opportunity. It's a great way to jump into the culture. It's a great way to trend hack. It's a great way to grow your account. And it's a great way to discover music as well and lean into the conversation.
Yeah. All right. So AI has obviously infiltrated everything that we do. And here on this show, we do talk about these AI updates on the social platforms. And there's some more on TikTok here in just a second. But that's why I'm so excited to announce that we have a new podcast here at Social Media Examiner. It's called AI Explored. And our goal is to help marketers, creators, and business owners understand the business applications of AI. It's hosted by Michael Stelzner, and it explores this amazing, new frontier in easy to understand terms. So if you've been thinking like, I got to figure out AI, I don't have time, podcast is the perfect way to do that. You'll find out how to apply AI to your work and your life. So pull up your favorite podcast app and just search for AI Explored. Or you can find out more at socialmediaexaminer.com/AI Explored, socialmediaexaminer.com/AI Explored. And another AI update on TikTok, they're now going to automatically label content that seems like it's AI generated. So explain to us how this looks like it's going to work and if we need to worry about getting in trouble for that.
Yeah. Firstly, I want to say I just listened to the first episode of that new podcast, by the way, with Paul Reitzer. Great episode. That guy's awesome. Hopefully, I get a chance to be on that show soon too. Just going to throw my shot out there in the world. But so AI needs to be regulated, and this is coming from a guy that has an AI startup that's creating videos with AI, and so this is another safety initiative for that, right? So. Not only on TikTok, YouTube has been doing this. There's been a toggle for a couple months to automatically select that this is AI generated or AI manipulated content. Well, now they're actually they've partnered with a company, Coalition of Content Provenance and Authority, the C2PA, because nobody's going to remember. That's a terrible name. Sorry. It's a terrible name for a company, but to automatically flag and label these videos. So one thing in particular that most people don't know is when you create an AI avatar video, there's typically an invisible watermark on those videos, and so we, to the naked eye, can't detect it. But these algorithms and sort of looks at like the schema and the data markup of that actual video, it can read that code, and so that's one way that it's actually detecting if it's AI generated. The other thing too, like, I don't know, I can't be the only one that has seen some of these indoctrined videos of Elon Musk or Warren Buffett where they're promoting somebody's crypto wallet and it's just an obvious scam. Like it's ridiculous. I don't know who's falling for those videos, But this is a great direction because it's making that even more idiot proof. And I think this is a step in the right
Yeah.
direction.
Okay. And then AI generated search results. What's that going to look like on TikTok? Because TikTok has been a search
Yeah,
engine from day one. So
100%.
how is this making this better?
Yeah, I love this play. Exactly. They've really been enhancing their search capability within TikTok. So for instance, if you search for something, and I love that they gave an example like pecan pie recipe, right? So like it might display at the top that this is an AI search highlight, or this is a search result generated by AI. Now
Mm-hmm.
they've been pulling in not just the top videos on that. They started to index Wikipedia pages, IMDb pages on there, and now they're actually integrating with ChatGPT to integrate generated snippets. So if you think about like Google search results, there's like a snippet at the top.
Yeah.
Depending on what your search query is, AI will generate an answer for you right at the top as well.
Okay.
TikTok is becoming one of the primary search engines for Gen Z. I use it as a search engine all the time. I just think it's an amazing search experience. And this just makes sense. I mean, AI is infiltrating all search, not just TikTok, but Google, YouTube, all platforms. So this is just sort of following that trend.
So a second ago, you mentioned the dangers of AI, even though you own an AI, or, founded an AI software company. So I have very mixed feelings about this next story. And that is
Yeah.
that TikTok is testing what they're calling virtual influencers that you can use in your ads on TikTok. So first, tell us what they mean by virtual influencers and what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah. So there's been there's been stories about this on Instagram over the last couple of months of like hyper realistic generated images, typically women, because that's the people follow a nice booty pic on Instagram and see like a nice beach picture, and they're going to follow that person, right? They're all AI generated, and they're starting to even do brand deals. And so what TikTok is doing is they're creating these AI avatars that can create videos for ads. So that's one of the first ways that they're integrating this is within ads. So a creator can basically prompt, I want X, Y, and Z, a video about X, Y, and Z product or X, Y, and Z information, and the avatar is generated and it generates a video script around it, and then it automatically reads that script as well. So that's sort of the first use case of it is for ads. So say like if you want UGC, but you don't want to pay a creator for whatever reason, not advocating for this, but that's kind of
now we're really getting
case.
into an ethical danger.
I know. Well, you want to talk about that? Look at a company called HeyGen. They just piloted UGC AI avatar creation. But the crazier part about this, we'll talk afterwards if you're interested. It's crazy. Yeah, HeyGen's UGC avatars, crazy stuff. The really wild thing about this is in China, in the Douyin app, there are already 24/7 live streaming AI avatars selling products. So as you're scrolling through, you're discovering live streams. These are not humans. These are AI avatars live streaming on a script that's 24/7, mass producing, like mass selling products. And it's been adopted. So there's been a little pushback in the West, over here in America, but in China, it's working. So people are actually selling products. Yeah, they've just been like, okay, this is the world now.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what I feel about this ethically. I think having an AI avatar talk about your company, make a commercial, make a video, to me, that's no different than hiring an actor or an actress necessarily, not a celebrity endorsement, but an actor or an actress to do the same thing. Like, to me, that's the same thing. But if you're having people pretend to be customers, which is what I assume you mean by user-generated content, that I feel like is crossing a line. And here in the US, the FTC is going to crack down on that. They've got to. I'm not surprised the tech's there at all.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Wow. Really, really interesting. Well, and here's the other
Crazy
part I love about
stuff.
it. Yeah, if you're a small
Yeah.
business, and I consult a lot of businesses, and when it's just like, well, I'm not going to get on camera, I'm not going to make videos, I'm not going to, this gives them an option if they're running ads. I know companies that have run ads on
Yeah.
multiple platforms, and they don't do video because they don't want to get on camera. They just want to use their pictures and their images, even
Yep.
though anyone in advertising knows the perfect mix is to have a variety of content because, for example, I'm a reader. I don't like videos, even though I'm a video creator. Other people like videos and they don't like to read. And some people like images and they don't like videos. So if you have a little bit of everything and the algorithm can figure it out, that's going to be your highest chance of success. So I like that this opens that up for smaller businesses, at least. So, all right. In the ad space, couple of important updates about where you can get your ads and where you can prevent them from appearing. Sometimes your ad can be in a really good premium space, and sometimes it can show up somewhere that you do not want it to be. So let's start with these new expanded options for where you can have your ad appear. And this is what they call TikTok Pulse. So explain that to us again and what's going on here, Austin.
Yeah. So TikTok Pulse Suite basically guarantees that your brand shows up next to hottest trending moments that are happening online. And they just within their Pulse Premiere, they just partnered with basically a lot of large companies. So you can have your content targeted alongside NHL, MLB, BuzzFeed, UFC, WWE oriented content, just as expanded targeting options. And I pulled some stats here that I think people are going to be fascinated with these targeting options. So these are directly from TikTok as well. So compared to other video platforms, the TikTok Pulse Suite delivers higher unaided recall, higher purchase intent, and longer view time given its ability to create strong alignment between your creative and the content that it's showing up alongside.
Yeah.
So Pulse ads Pulse ads are watched more than 75% total ad time, drive 8% higher unaided ad recall, while Pulse ads watched for a quarter of the time drive 4% higher purchase intent than a video on demand forced view where 100% of the ad was watched. So it's just creating that user intent. Like TikTok has all of the data in the world. And so this is just giving you better data informed decisions of where your ads are placed so that they can retain more information about your brand. So better for brand awareness. And it's actually leading towards higher purchase intent.
That's really cool. Yeah. I mean, when I worked as a radio personality, we would always try and talk about whatever people were already talking about. There's a reason we were talking about the Super Bowl and the Oscars and, whatever else was going on, because then you, in a way, get aligned with that and much, much more memorable. So the ultimate would be is if you could, and I guess you could probably plan ahead for this, just like brands buy Super Bowl ads. You could plan ahead if you knew something was coming, the Emmys or something like that, and make content and then select this placement. Is that your understanding? You could actually plan that way. So if it was the Emmys, you could have an Emmy related video that would show with it.
Absolutely. Or for instance, like if you're Logan Paul with Prime hydration drink, right, which is a sponsor of the UFC 300 comes around, which is, a million plus pay-per-view buys, millions of people are watching it, right? In the lead up to that event, they could run targeted ads alongside UFC videos that are already reaching millions of people to tie in that brand awareness over time. And then when it comes time to, see UFC 300 live, you're watching it. And then before you know it, you're walking in 7-Eleven and you're like, let me try that Prime energy drink thing. Yeah. So it's just that constant alignment there.
Yeah. Okay. So there's obviously advantages to having your ads in certain places. And then there are times that you may not want your ads in certain places. So TikTok calls this their brand suitability feature. So what are they rolling out here that people who buy TikTok ads are going to have access to?
Yeah, so just like who you can put it in front of, there's now more exclusion filters as well. So say you don't want to run your ads across gambling or lottery-oriented content, violent video games, combat sports. So if you absolutely are like, I don't want my content in front of UFC content, you can add them as an exclusion, and youth-oriented content. As well. There's different vertical sensitivity filters that they've rolled out. They have 11 verticals now, including pets, beauty, food, fashion, retail, travel, financial services, technology, automotive, gaming, professional services, and entertainment, so that you can really, really drive in of who you want to target, who you want to align beside, and who you absolutely do not want your content in front of as well, because those are just wasted views and wasted dollars spent.
Yeah, well, and this is where I think they're really getting innovative is this with this vertical sensitivity filter. So for example, one of the examples they gave was if you're running ads about travel, you probably don't want to be next to a video about volcanoes or floods or problems with airplanes or things like that, you know.
That's true.
Like that's
Yeah.
one of the risks that somebody does when they buy ads on like TV news. You don't know what you're going to be necessarily up against. And so
Yeah.
this is for years now on other platforms, we've been able to say, yeah, don't show it next to content that falls into a couple of these categories, but this is really getting specific, and I think that's going to be really powerful for brands too. So
Yeah, that just made me laugh, right? It's like nothing will turn you off more of like, travel to Europe today, and then the next video is like Boeing's air, door hatch like flying off, and everyone's like, what?
Yeah, honey, we should go to the Bahamas. Nah, never mind. No, we should not. We should take a boat maybe to the Bahamas.
Yeah. Put me on a shipping container.
Yeah. All right. TikTok Notes is their new image app, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. But first, they're testing they're basically partnering with a ticket selling brand, and this is starting in Europe, but this could be really interesting for the future of the platform for anyone that in the event space or really anyone in e-commerce from that standpoint. So what is this partnership they've announced with tickets?
Yeah, so they're launching this in Germany as a test. So the largest ticketing platform in Germany, which is called CTS Event. So basically how this works is when a fan sees an artist's video, they can easily discover tour dates and purchase tickets through this plugin. So when you are creating a video as a musician or as a stand-up comedian, whatever, as you're selling events, you can click the add link option on there. Now everybody has this functionality, and then there's different third-party apps that you can connect to. This ties right into that feature where you can select the CTS event app, add link, and then just connect it to your event page on there, and users can see your live performance and purchase a ticket to an upcoming event right there. I love this play. I think they're gonna, it's a test to align with Ticketmaster in the United States, and I think it's gonna completely change how bands sell tickets. I mean, it's such a smart play because, like we said earlier, like music is such a cultural important part of TikTok in general. It only makes sense to allow artists that are growing on TikTok to sell tickets directly through TikTok.
Well, and I just, when we had our meeting about the show this week, it's like, this is the beginning of all kinds of potential things. I mean, you can imagine not just concerts, but sports teams or, Social Media Examiner being able to let people sign up for, social media marketing role without leaving the app. Or, if you sell virtual events or workshops or, all of that kind of stuff. Because as we all know, no matter what we sell, the less friction there is between hearing about it and the purchase, the more the higher your conversion is going to get. So that'll be interesting. All right. In just a second, the feature that can dramatically increase your reach that I can't believe we didn't have on TikTok yet. But first, TikTok Notes. So we talked earlier about how TikTok's coming after YouTube, and Austin, you said TikTok's coming after everybody, Amazon, and it's true. But TikTok Notes they're experimenting with this dedicated space for photo and text content. So even though it's called Notes, it is kind of photo based. So what do we know about this now? What are these latest steps they've kind of been taken as they move toward maybe this rolling out to everybody?
Yeah, so so they only rolled it out in Canada so far, which I think is interesting. I was chatting a little bit with Wave Wild about this. Wave's been on the show and has been a Social Media Examiner and whatnot, so she's had access to it. And it's if you think about like carousel options on TikTok, it's basically just that within this new app. So you can connect your TikTok Notes account to your regular TikTok account as well. And it's just really just an image only platform. I wish I was able to test it. I even tried to use a VPN on my phone, set myself in Canada, go to the Play Store. No, they're too smart. They're too smart for me.
Wasn't happening.
It's not happening. It's not happening. But yeah, it's an interesting test. I mean, I don't know like Threads, I don't know if it's enough of a differentiator for me to download another app because TikTok already supports photos. So, until they really differentiate the two, or they just take photos off of TikTok in general,
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure what the play is here, to be honest. It just seems like busy work for the team that they're just like building this other
Yeah.
app.
Well,
We'll
so
see. We'll see what
right now,
happens.
so they're limited testing. So not everybody has it in these countries, but Canada or
Yeah.
Australia, it looks like as well. And
Oh,
so
Australia too. Yeah.
let's say next week, they're like, it's going worldwide. If somebody is already using TikTok, what would you say is their first step to take? I mean, you'd probably download it and you probably get to invite your followers over. At least that's how the Instagram Threads thing went. So we'd kind of start there, and anything else you would kind of envision doing right away.
I mean, snag your username as soon as possible. I'm just not sure because I don't know what the sign up process is like. So it's always, when a new platform comes out, it's always a good idea to just snag your username or
Yeah.
snag a username
Yeah.
as soon as possible, because you never know like which platform is going to explode. Like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe TikTok Notes is going to become the new Instagram. Like it seems unlikely, but maybe that is the case. You never know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of seems like Instagram meets Be Real almost from their description as well. But you can upload images and share snapshots throughout your day at any given time on there. Yeah, I would say just sign up, test it. I don't know if it's going to opt in like how Threads had that same approach of like as soon as you sign up for it,
I
it
would think
automatically
so.
tells you to follow. I mean, that's how they're gonna. Yeah, that's the stickiest way to do it.
Yeah, it's too
So
obvious of a solution for them not
yeah,
to use
right.
that. And if they didn't give you your username or at least give you like 6 months to grab it, I think you'd have a lot of
Yeah,
angry people and confused
true.
followers too. So,
Yeah, true,
okay.
true.
And then the other thing that they're testing, and we've had this on Facebook and Instagram for I
Yep.
don't know how long, is a collaboration feature. So for anyone who hasn't
Yes.
seen this on Facebook and Instagram, explain kind of what this is and have they said anything how it's different on TikTok? Update us on that, please.
Yeah, they're basically trying to one-to-one copy Instagram's collaboration feature. So up to this point, TikTok has duets and stitches where you can duet somebody's video, place it side by side, but it's really only two people that are
Mhm.
connected via that video. With collaborations, you can invite multiple people to collaborate on that post. It will then display on all of their feeds. It will go out to all of their audiences. And this is a great way. And this is unlike duets and stitches. So duets and stitches tag that person, but it doesn't go onto their account and it doesn't reach their audience. Collaborations are a great way to reach multiple audiences all at once. I do this constantly on Instagram. It's a crazy growth hack. Just by adding somebody as a collaborator, you
Yeah.
double your reach
Yeah.
instantly. You can have up to 5 collaborators on TikTok. That's what they're letting us know here. Yeah. So, another important thing here: only the original uploader will get monetization from that as well, and only they are able to edit that video too. So if I post it and I add you as a collaborator, Jerry, we will reach both of our audiences, but only I'm getting that money.
Yeah. Okay. So, and it's interesting too, because the other little, they said a lot of things about this, but one of them says you're only allowed to invite others to collaborate 4 times per month. And I don't think there's a limit on Instagram or Facebook. But as Austin said, I mean, I think all my biggest reels are collaborations. And so
Yeah.
if you have, like an interview podcast, obviously it's the easiest way to do it. But even then, think about how, you have somebody else with a similar audience and they could bring value to your audience and you bring value to theirs. And as Austin said, it goes out to their audience, your audience. And then at least the way I see it work on Instagram is the things that your two audiences have in common will go out to other people like that, assuming it's good content.
Yes.
Still has to be good content, but yeah, really an incredible opportunity. And it's honestly the only reason I don't pre-schedule my my reels from a third-party app, because I want to be able to add the collaboration when when that's the case. So Yeah.
Absolutely.
Really cool updates. All right. Quick reminder, go to socialmediaexaminer.com/AI Explored to listen to our newest show, AI Explored. And Austin, where is the best place to discover more about you?
Yeah, check out my website, syllabi.io, if you want to see what we're doing in the AI space there. I'm everywhere across social media, at Socialty Pro across the board. I'm easy to find, I'm easy to reach.
Awesome. All right. And until next time, may you be wise with your marketing decisions. Check out AI Explored. And thanks for being here, everybody. Bye.